Zero.
Death penalty. How do you feel about the death penalty?
Well, I like the death penalty. We should have, instead of an electric chair, we should have an electric bench, so we can put them all on the bench together and, light them up all at once.
You're not joking.
No, I'm not. Not at all.
Tell me why.
Well, because the only people that get the death penalty.
We should just have some vents in all the rooms in the jail, and when you want, you can pump gas through them, so all the inmates die simultaneously. It would be very efficient.
Oh, you mean just like a gas chamber?
Oh, kind of like that.
I wonder if historically there was a parallel where somebody did that for the efficiency of the mass killing.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Or cold-blooded first-degree murderers. They're vile, they're nasty, they're dangerous. And as a result, we need to give them a fair trial. We need to give
Better
them
than
the
Sagar. More progressive than Sagar and Jenny. Wow, what a saint. Maybe this guy should lead the left. He believes in due process.
Because I believe in our criminal justice system.
Damn, that's refreshing.
So once you've had your trial.
Well, I don't know. Before you guys get too hot to trot about this guy, this man was also featured on the PBD podcast to talk about how he shot at a suspect. So this man had not been given due process. He shot at a suspect 68 times, and the only reason he stopped shooting was because he ran out of bullets. Turns out he was just kidding about the believing in the due process part, but he does believe in the killing part.
Was this a machine gun? Like, what gun has that many bullets in it?
I think he had multiple guns at the same time because he's a sheriff. He's emptying all of his clips. He's reloading.
He must be a pretty bad shot. Like, it usually doesn't take more than 1 or 2 bullets, from my experience, to kill someone. Just kidding. I've never killed him.
Thank God, right? But anyway, we can keep hearing from this saint over here.
And once you've had your first appeal, your second appeal, heck, give them 3 appeals. Then we need to light them up or shoot the juice to them, whichever way the state wants it.
But at that point
in time, understand.
That sounds like something else. That sounds like he's suggesting something else might happen to those gentlemen in prison.
Oh, God.
This is not a couple of drunks that got in a fight and one shot the other at a bar. Okay? Both of them were involved in an event. This is somebody who premeditated a murder of an innocent person who had every right to walk the face of the earth till they grew very old and died.
Unlike that guy you tried to shoot 68 times with no trial.
60. I still can't get over that. 68 times. Like, that guy must have been good at dodging bullets.
Bro,
how the fuck do you survive that?
I imagine the guy is driving away in a car or like running for his fucking life through, and this guy is just chasing him down. He looks like he's not very in shape. So he's probably huffing and puffing and just shooting all over the place. Imagine a scene from The Other Guys, but from hell. I mean, just imagine how terrified you would be if a cop is just chasing you down, trying to shoot you 68 times.
Yeah, that is like the opening scene in The Other Guys. Great underrated film, by the way. But yeah, this is a real throwback to Joe Arpaio. Remember Joe Arpaio? Yes. He also would like go on Fox News and brag about how like, LOL, we didn't even turn on the AC in our Arizona jail this season. All these inmates just had to fucking deal with it. Like, you know, he would just like brag about dehumanizing and torturing the inmates in his county jails. So, you know, real throwback to that.
Oh, yeah. And a lot of people pointed out that Joe Arpaio had, you know, a high recidivism rate of criminals, right? Higher than individuals who didn't practice the barbarism that he practiced. So it didn't even work.
How do you think a child predator, a 40-year-old man, doing, you know, sexually abusing a 10-year-old girl or a 10-year-old boy, what do you see? Do you see death penalty for them?
Can we whack them too?
Them as well?
Oh, absolutely. That's more horrific than murder in my estimation, because
is that the highest for you?
Well, you cannot by law. Well, we just instituted capital punishment for sexual battery in Florida. I have every confidence the United States Supreme Court's going to strike that down. They already have. They shouldn't, but they will. I just believe that.
He said they're making the death penalty a thing for sexual battery. I'm kind of surprised that right wingers are into that, given how many of them like fucking abuse their wives and like rape women and shit. But yeah, I mean, like obviously that's a horrific crime that you should pay a price for. But to just start putting criminal. That's just a weird thing to advocate for. Yeah, let's just kill more people.
Well, yeah, and that's how they roll it out, right? Nobody is going to be like, let's kill protesters that are on the street. Let's kill people who are being dissidents. Let's kill disruptors. No, they're going to talk about it by killing people that nobody is willing to stand up for, right? They're going to talk about putting to death individuals that you obviously do not want to stick your neck out for. Right. You have to be like, I recognize that all people have a right as a principle, and I'm not going to be moved on that based off of the pitfalls or even the evil of an individual, because a right is a right. It's a principle, as we just talked about, and it has to apply to everyone or it applies to no one. Right. I actually just watched the Werner Herzog documentary about capital punishment and death row, and he interviews one of the prison wardens, whatever guy who is responsible for strapping you down and administering the lethal injection to you with a doctor. And that guy, he had such horrible PTSD, and he was like, I can't believe I participated in all of this. Like, once you pull yourself out of it for one moment, you start to realize that what you're participating in is the dehumanization of others, even if they do get you all ginned up into a fervor because of what horrible crime this person committed, right? It still is making an animal out of the society and everyone in it when you try and, routinely and industrially take life.
Yeah, 100%.
But at the end of the day, I am more mortified by someone that would physically torture and abuse and sexually batter a child than I am someone that gets in a fight with a guy at a bar and shoots him.
How many death penalties have you been a part of?
Oh, I don't know. Several. I mean, you lose count after a while.
More than 10?
I don't. Yes. In some command capacity, yes.
And have you been there watching it happen or no?
Oh, I've gone to see one.
And how was that
How'd you
experience?
see it?
Well,
Like
it
a
was
fucking- like it's a fucking game, like baseball game or something.
Bro, what's crazy is that you can go see it, and a lot of family members of the victims will go and sit in the room and watch the person be killed.
Traumatic.
Yeah, that's crazy. I would not do that.
I know,
personally.
right? I mean,
I'd be like, no one come and watch me get fucking fried to death by the electric chair, please. I'd rather you not see that.
yeah, it's usually like the victim's family and then like the mother of the person that did it. And those will be the people that get admitted into the room, and a chaplain if you want one.
Oh,
It was after they used the chemical drip, and I can describe that to you. First, if we have time, I'll tell you the story. There was a guy by the name of Eddie Wayne Davis, and I don't remember names well.
And
All right,
anyway,
great
this guy
call.
continues to drone on for why it's, reasonable and rational to kill people. But what I wanted to really highlight, that most deranged guess I could find, was to talk about where this is going, right? We talked about how it begins with, it's only, the serial killers and the child rapers, right? And now PBD is laundering this spicy take from Donald Trump: death penalty for cop killers. Trump drops bombshell during Congress speech on crime and punishment. And of course, PBD and his guest in this episode think that's a great idea, right? If you look at the comment section, unfortunately, so do they. I'm not opposed to this as long as it's made reciprocal. If a cop on or off duty, and especially in a position of power over every, that's actually a based comment. I hadn't seen that before. I don't agree with it, but I agree that it should be reciprocal. The reality is that people are going to be accused of killing a cop and put to death when the cop lives, or when there's not good evidence, or now you're not going to be in a position where you can defend yourself against a cop, and they're going to put you to literal fucking death on death row, which is pretty crazy. And that's what that was all setting the stage for. And we imagine, given the history of conservatism, that they will then reach for new people that it's so socially acceptable to kill and put to death after the cop killers.
yeah. No, that's a great point. And this is also a great point. We should take a cue, Zach, and start putting all of our Vanguard merch behind us.
Yeah. What's funny, Gavin, and a good segue into something that I know you wanted to get into, is he's also ending all of these episodes with a little bit of a promotion. Should we take a look at the boardroom? Gavin, this is what they're selling over here at the PBD show.
Oh, yeah. Let's take a look.
Launched here soon. And so for those of you that are wanting to be members of the cigar lounge, the boardroom, there's already 61 members. Okay, it's only 80 of them that we're talking about at the phase 1 that we're going through. And there's going to be an interesting guest showing up here soon to the cigar lounge, possibly for the grand opening. I can't tell you who that is, but there's a lot of speculation who that could be. You can figure it out, but it's only for those who are members of the club. So if you want to submit an application to be considered, I look at every single application that comes into my hand. Rob, if we can put the website to go to for it. What is the website for the cigar?
We think we're gonna start charging a little more for our membership fees over here at the Vanguard. Looks like we're leaving money on the table. PBD's charging $5,500 all the way up to $16,500 for the soon-to-be unveiled platinum membership into the Boardroom Cigar Lounge. Who do you think the secret guest will be, Gavin?
Yeah, that's a great question. I was just trying to figure out who it might be. It's going to be maybe like Tucker, or someone like Jimmy Dore, perhaps. I'm not sure. So one of these idiots that PBD is friends with, that he probably just asked for them to do this as a favor. Show up one night, pretend you're part of my dumbass cigar lounge club. But yeah, I mean, that's just an insane grift. The cost for that. Imagine spending that kind of money to go smoke fucking cigars with total losers, total fucking morons. That would be terrible.
Well, none of those guys actually have friends, right? None of those dudes have homies, so they have all this free time and they want to go around other dudes that project and emanate wealth. Because
it's gonna be Jank. That's their special guest.
Jank. My good friend Chuck Booger is going to be here from the DYU network, and you might not have heard him, but he's making a comeback.
And speaking of insane grifts, also let's take a look at this one, which is talked about on the recent episode of Office Hours with Tim Heidecker. This is crazy shit, guys. This is a whole new level of grift that I wasn't even aware of, because I've heard of the what's it called, where the Cameo, where people pay like $100, and then I send you send them a video where you like sing happy birthday, or send some joke or whatever. Like, that's a thing. And I've seen celebrities profit off of that before, but this is a whole new level of similar grift, but even more just brazen, honestly.
Growing. And, what I do is I recommend starting some kind of scam where you charge people $48,000 for a half hour.
Oh wait, we got to go back a sec. All right.
The greatest thing ever, man.
It's like you have to pay to talk to them or something.
Yeah.
We can help you take that step forward. We can even help you take that step back. Connect.
Wait, $48,000
For 30 minutes?
Oh my God.
No.
Oh my God.
How embarrassing for Adam. He's $500 and Tom is $2,000. How much is Vinny?
Insane.
How much is Vinny?
$48,000.
How
much for
30
Vinny?
minutes.
2,000. He's just under Tom. Tom's the big deal. Look at Salvador. He looks like
Salvatore.
Uncle Junior.
Oh!
Well, the key to think for business is you gotta always be growing. And what I do is I recommend starting some kind of scam where you charge people $48,000 for a half hour of your time. Let's see, Vinny. I'll do $2,000, but I'll give you $3,000 if I can turn you red as a beet. The problem is he doesn't get that red on P.
And like you have to literally be like the son of a business magnate to afford that. $48,000 for 30 minutes. Like, you have to literally be like this, like just an insane nepo baby with money to fucking throw down the toilet in order to pay $50K for 30 minutes of what will be a useless conversation. Like, it's not like that's actually going to get you anywhere. He's not going to actually tell you the secret to success. And oh, here's the QR code for you to start your own business or some stupid shit. No, it's going to be him bullshitting you for your money because he knows you're desperate and stupid.
Yeah, it'll be like, Mr. Bet David, yes, the nephew of Mohammed bin Solomon is on the line. Assalamu alaikum. Yes. Congratulations on learning to speak English. That's the first step in this in the conquest, right? I grew up in Iran. Okay. One thing you're gonna have to learn to do is get to America, right? The first thing you've got to do. And I don't know, but those are the only people that you could possibly be talking to, like foreign aristocrats, or some kid that made a fortune off of Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Listen, learn how to take a shower. Okay. When was the last time you bathed? Okay. Asmongold. Now, I see that you've grown very popular on Twitch, but that's an unsustainable business model.
Yeah, and as it showed in that little commercial at the beginning that they played for Connect, which is the platform they're sponsoring. This is sponsoring this. Like, they're literally marketing this to people who are like potentially suicidal or something. Like This is
Manect.
Wait,
it's like oh, if you need someone to talk you off the ledge, literally, hit up PBD for just 50K. He'll convince you not to kill yourself or something. Like that's unironically what they're kind of going with here. Either way, I highly recommend you guys watch this whole video from Tim Heidecker with Aaron Brown. It's an absolutely hilarious expose of some of the biggest grifts PBD's engaged in. Just endless source of comedy. Patrick, Bet David.
Oh yeah, he's great. He's not very smart, but boy, is he shrewd and selfish, and that'll get you everywhere you want to go in America if you have no shame.
Yep. And he, I guess, sounds impressive to really dumb people.
Yeah, I say this all the time, but I just always get the impression that he is like the dad that takes his children's soccer team way too seriously. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like he's the kind of guy that's in a tracksuit with
Dude,
sunglasses on, yelling at the coach.